Thomas was shunned by both his empress and father. He had lost his title and name, but had found new ones. Thomas, protector of Hammerfall, commander of the Knights of Evergrey, companion of the Bloodsmiths, and husband to Immaril. Brave Conrad Wolf was stricken from his family's history, along with his nephew, for having dared to defy an empress's orders, and doing what in his heart he had felt was just. This is how Hammerfall won its independence. Empress Kyla died that very same year. Emperor Connor III rebuilt the Armada and sent it against the Orcs that had settled on the islands not far from Hammerfall, only to be defeated again. Amongst the Orc admirals was Bilashi the Bold, and beside him, Thomas of Evergrey.
Thomas of Evergrey. Now that rings a bell. To think he was once a lord of the Empire.
Today, it is up to you to decide what the future of this empire will be. Search your heart, and you'll know what to do, and how to go about it.
Just to be clear, Ivan should first become a bloodsmith before dealing with Seamus.
Not that. Story says to stand up and fight, like Bilashi. Kente says good advice.
Was my ancestor Sergei such a despicable character?
She can't lie, remember? Yet I can name a handful of Lords of Wolf with greater flaws than Sergei. But that's not the point. Murizel wants you to seize the throne and rule as you see fit. I can only agree.
Gore and glory. Your stories are only more tales of blood and tears. I'm not convinced. I'm going home.
You are not thinking clearly. You cannot keep an empire broken any more than you could cut an ocean into 2 equal parts. Seamus will one day return, and the Duchy of Griffin will become one immense graveyard, from Voron Peak to the steppes of Rannar. Now, at least, the battle is far from our home. You may be dead before this certainty comes to pass, but your ghost will be there and despair.
My dear Anastasia, your outrage will not sway him.
You have other methods, wizard. It seems he longs more for the bed these days than the saddle.
It seems I've missed a chapter. Are they...
Aunt, do not insult my counselors. I value all of you. But your point has been made, and I shall hear another story.
I would tell you a story of a realm whose fate was left to chance, and how there is always a leader to fill the void.
I'm listening. I want this war to stop. Enough blood has been spilt. The time has come to heal our wounds.
We are all weary. Fate is like a river. You must often swim against the current to find safe harbor. Here is a story of shifting tides. It recounts a dire episode in the history of the Necromancers. It is a cautionary tale of what happens when you let the currents decide your destiny. Let me take you back to the day the wizards of the Seven Cities decided to outlaw the magic of death.
The path of death is a dangerous and twisted one. you can easily lose your values and your reason while walking it.
That's no excuse for their crimes. The sheriffs hunted us like animals. Those who were walking the path of death weren't the necromancers, but these sheriffs, blinded by their hatred.
Tell that to the survivors of Al Yakut, whose city was reduced to ashes by your brothers.
A cornered wyvern will eventually bite. But once he does, only two options are left to him: flee or die. Those of us that remained took refuge within the walls of Albertil. We still believed in the power of our house and our Archon Belketh. We would be safe. We were so naive. Once, we of House Eterna were part of the 7 cities, and necromancy was just another school of magic. But then we found the avatar of our goddess, and our traditions became beliefs. We did not realize that we had become abhorrent to the wizards of the other houses. They feared our power, they envied our immortality, and plotted to kill us all in one great and sudden purge. We were not good at dying, and the purge blossomed into a bloody civil war. Persecuted necromancers fled to Albertil, the impregnable city of our founder Belketh. Hidden in our impregnable city, our immortal arrogance proved a paltry defense against the combined magic of 3 houses. Our shield was breached. Hated and outnumbered, we were nearly overrun. My husband, Vayne, the Reaper of Souls, chose to stay and fight, giving us time to escape. He sacrificed his eternity to save our religion. Or was it simply to save the lives of those he loved?